Are you tired of healing feeling like another full-time job? Where you're constantly explaining yourself, over-analyzing every feeling, and walking out of therapy feeling like you just went backwards? It's exhausting. But I want you to know you're not broken. Traditional healing methods are. And let me show you why you're stuck and how to make healing actually fun again. So by the end of this video, you will understand why most healing approaches feel slow, exhausting, and honestly, kind of soul-sucking. And most importantly, you'll learn how to bypass the traditional clunky methods and go straight to your nervous system, which is the control center that actually is running the show. Because here's the thing, your brain and body are doing insanely cool things at about 200 million bits per second just to keep you alive. And most traditional methods are trying to paddle against the current. But when you learn to work with them instead of fighting them, the healing process becomes easier, faster, and actually fun. If you're new here, I'm RC. I'm a survivor turned CEO, and I run Survivor School, a trauma-informed personal development platform built by survivors for survivors. And we teach you how to break through the invisible barriers of trauma so that you can stop putting so much energy into healing and you can actually start moving towards your goals. But before we get into how to make healing fun, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like no matter how much you talk about the past, you still feel stuck in the same patterns? It's not because you're doing it wrong. It's because you've been told to focus on the wrong things. Let me explain. Traditional methods of healing from trauma are exhausting and can often seem like it's worse than the original trauma. But we have been convinced that it's a necessary evil and it's just part of the process. Like when you were a kid, if you scraped your knee at recess and the school nurse poured hydrogen peroxide on it. It stung like hell, but you were told that you have to clean out the wound so it could heal. Traditional healing methods like talk therapy and CBT often end up being more exhausting than helpful. While they focus on addressing the symptoms, they tend to miss the bigger picture. Talking about your trauma repeatedly, revisiting painful memories and emotions might sound like it's helping, but can actually make things worse. Now, the goal of these methods is to desensitize you to the trauma, but the process intensifies the pain and is focused on the symptoms and doesn't really address the bigger picture. And things like medication might offer symptom relief, but again, it doesn't tackle the root cause, and there's a constant need for dosage adjustments as your system adapts. And let's not even get into the side effects. Now, this makes progress feel like you're moving at a snail's pace, kind of like waiting in line at the DMV. Now, the problem with the traditional methods is simple. They focus on the symptoms, not the cause. Well, guess what? They now know that hydrogen peroxide is a horrible idea for pouring on open wounds. Despite its ability to kill bacteria, it can damage healthy tissue, slow down the healing process, cause irritation, and leave deeper scars. Sound familiar? I mentioned earlier that you're focusing on the wrong things. Well, guess what? Your symptoms aren't even symptoms. They're more like alarms. Most people think healing means changing how they think and feel about the past, but they're missing a crucial piece of the puzzle. The anxiety, emotional dysregulation, intrusive thoughts, those aren't actually the problem. In fact, those aren't even symptoms of the problem. They are the alarms your brain is setting off to tell you that there is a problem, like when there's a fire. The smoke is a symptom of the fire, but the smoke alarm is blaring loud and it's there to tell you that there's a problem. But most traditional therapies are aimed at turning down the volume on the smoke alarm, and medications are like taking the batteries out of the smoke detector. The exhaustion, the depression, and other physical symptoms are like the smoke, making it harder for us to get out. Now, we know we can't just hop in a DeLorean and go back in time and undo the past. So trying to change how we think and feel about the past seems like the obvious solution, but it is actually counterproductive. So when you stop fighting the noisy symptoms and focus on clearing the smoke, then you can put out the fire in your nervous system and finally start to rebuild. Okay, let's talk about how we make healing trauma fun. And no, I'm not talking about toxic positivity where we just think happy thoughts and get acai bowls and post gratitude quotes on Instagram. Positive psychology sounds great in theory. Think happy thoughts, be grateful, and everything will magically be sunshine and rainbows, right? Well, for trauma survivors, that's like telling someone with a broken leg to just walk it off. Newsflash, healing takes more than a pep talk and a gratitude journal. But here's the thing, even though it can be hard sometimes, healing doesn't have to be all doom and gloom either. At Survivor School, we use something called realistic optimism, where we don't sugarcoat things and pretend it's easy, but we do still aim high. We work to train your brain to do hard things in a way where they don't feel so scary. And we make the process fun, which turns down the fear response and makes it easier to keep going. And one way we do this is by using dopamine boosting techniques to regulate your nervous system. Try this. Start by doing a micro dopamine boost. Do something that makes you feel instantly good, even if it's small. And yes, watching baby goat videos on YouTube totally counts. Then play with sensory stimulation. Try walking barefoot on wet grass, dunking your face in cold water, or even squeezing a stress ball. Sensory play activates your vagus nerve, which helps regulate your nervous system. And connecting this to an immediate dopamine reward takes the focus off the short-term pain and puts emphasis on the results you've gained. So notice how you feel in your body afterwards. Now, if being in your body feels like too much and you tend to dissociate, try this instead. Turn your triggers into a game. Next time you feel yourself getting dysregulated, imagine you're in a video game. Oh look, my nervous system just unlocked panic mode. It's time to activate my breathing cheat code. This creates distance between you and the experience your body is having. Your nervous system is using dissociation to protect you. So why not play along with this instead of trying to fight it? It sounds weird, but it makes the situation less heavy and more playful, like a challenge. Here's why this matters. 1, when healing feels fun, you actually stick to it. Because let's be real, nobody wants to willingly sign up for more stress and burnout. But more importantly, because your brain is constantly weighing pain and fear. Fear is debilitating and will most often prevent you from taking action. And pain is incredibly motivating, and it'll move you away from the things that hurt. But here's the problem. Your brain is wired to choose a pain that it already knows over anything else that it doesn't know, even when the outcome could be really, really good. And the only way to get your brain to take action is when the pain is greater than the fear. Most people have been taught to increase the pain to outweigh the fear. But all we need to do is turn down the fear response. Now that's why in Survivor School, we ditch the outdated clinical approach and we use science-backed strategies that are designed to feel good, not draining. So here's the deal. Healing doesn't have to suck. It doesn't have to be this long, painful grind that makes you question your will to live. When you focus on your nervous system first, you stop spinning your wheels and actually start seeing results. You don't need to analyze every memory. You don't need to fixate on every symptom. But what you do need to do is work with your brain and body, which is the powerhouse running the show. And the best part is you get to do it in a way that actually feels good. If you are ready for a proven science-backed way to jumpstart your healing that is actually fun, our upcoming program is for you. Break Free from CPTSD is a 6-week trauma healing accelerator designed specifically for women. Inside, we teach you how to regulate your nervous system, rewire the trauma response in your brain, and actually feel good while doing it. If you're ready to finally ditch your trauma and reach your goals, the link is in the description.